Now dance.
That was the important part.
On today's episode of Continue Cooking, I'm joined by my longtime esports friend and colleague, Doa. We'll be making one of the classic Korean dishes, Bibimbap.
These are our ingredients for the bibimbap meat and marinade, as well as the bibimbap sauce. So first off, we have some ground beef here. You could use ground pork. You can use cut beef. You could use ribeye if you want. You can use whatever kind of meat you want for this, but we're just gonna use ground beef because it's probably the thing that you guys have the most access to, that or ground pork. For the marinade, we're gonna have some green onion, garlic. This is mirin. If you wanna make your own, you can add more sake and sugar if you don't have that, or vodka and sugar. It's totally an option for you, but probably should just have a bottle of mirin around. Gochujang is what we're going to be using in combination with some of the sesame oil for the sauce for the bibimbap. We have sesame oil, we have soy sauce here, and we have a little bit of sugar. So these are the ingredients that we need for the meat and the sauce. All right, we're gonna use 2 teaspoons of sugar here, 2 teaspoons of our sesame oil, 2 teaspoons of mirin. Why is it?
Whoa.
Well, that was 2 teaspoons of mirin right there. About a tablespoon and a half of soy sauce here. I'll add 2 teaspoons of the garlic.
Yeah.
Right.
You can use 1.
More
That's
garlic
fine.
the merrier.
Exactly. Okay, I'm just gonna mix this marinade up with the ground beef right now. Again, I am using more meat. I'm using almost double the amount that was called for in the recipe, but I just want a little bit of extra because I would like bibimbap some days in the future. And I will add just a little bit more soy sauce as a result.
I mean, it's good to have meaty bibimbap too. Whoa. Like if it's all vegetables, then I don't know, it just doesn't feel right, really.
So we're gonna cook the meat now. I'm gonna cook this in a wok. You could use a carbon steel pan or a cast iron pan. I really like cooking ground meat in woks because you can get a nice crispy texture to it. Obviously you could do this in a cast iron pan too, it just takes longer to heat up. But I cook a lot of ground meat in woks. This is a pretty common technique. Thai food, for example, pad kra prao is great using this. So I'm gonna use some high heat oil. So this is avocado oil. I'm just gonna use a little bit of this. The meat will also be releasing some fat.
When you're talking about high heat, you're talking about a high smoke point. So it doesn't burn and smoke as quickly as like something like olive oil would.
Yep, so this is avocado oil. You could use any vegetable oil. So this is on high heat right now.
Here we go.
So what you're gonna wanna do with ground meat is spread it around. You can spread this on the surface of a carbon steel or cast iron pan as well. The thing is, if you use a non-stick pan, first off, it's not gonna, the Maillard reaction is not gonna brown as nicely. And what we're gonna do is just let it sit there. And you can do this in a cast iron skillet also. All right. So we're getting some good Maillard reaction now, a little bit of browning.
Open window.
And we wanna cook this all the way through. So I'm breaking apart the meat. You probably shouldn't try and flip it in a cast iron skillet unless you're like really strong.
I do it all the time. Much easier to do in a wok.
With your monster hands.
Yes, that's right.
All right, we have 300 grams here of the mung bean sprouts, and we are going to blanch these. So we're gonna blanch the bean sprouts for a minute. I'm just gonna shred some carrots here just to add a little bit of flavor and color, some raw carrots. Okay, so 1 minute for the bean sprouts. Blanch.
Our icy water ready.
We got our icy water ready. We're gonna shock it.
Wow.
Separate them a little bit in here. So you make sure that the icy water circulates around them to stop the cooking. And we're good. I'm not gonna squeeze these. This is not gonna, you're not gonna squeeze a lot of the water out of this.
You don't want to damage the stalks too much either.
Yeah. MSG salt, our favorite.
Yeah.
MSG salt, half a teaspoon of table salt or MSG salt. I'll use about half a teaspoon of sesame seeds, fresh garlic, raw garlic for this.
You don't mix with your hands though, I noticed.
I do. Depends on what it is.
Okay. When I mix something, I like to get in there with my hands and do it because it feels properly mixed. I mean, I'm wearing my wedding ring right now, so I can. And you already...
there's nothing you could do to remove your
all
wedding
right.
ring.
All right, I'll take it.
You can't just say that and then not do it.
Oh, okay.
That's
there we go.
illegal.
Oh, look at that.
There we go.
This is not like the prime thing you need to mix, but I feel like you can just get it much better, you know, covered. You can get the coverage much better this way. Especially with something as gentle as bean sprouts. You don't want a hard metal spoon going in there and messing with it, right? See, look at, we're just sort of massaging it, caressing it, and it's perfectly coated now.
These are the sauce ingredients here that we're going to be using for the bibimbap. Sesame oil, gochujang, which is the fermented chili paste, sugar, and we'll use a little bit of water. This will add a sweetness to it that is going to be really nice. All right, we're going to use 4 tablespoons of the gochujang, so we'll start there. And we're just going to use 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. And we'll add 1 tablespoon of water, 2 teaspoons of sugar in here as well. The sugar obviously is just to add sweetness. The reason why we're adding the sesame oil and the water, we need to dilute it to a point where it can actually be somewhat poured. I'm going to turn my stove onto low or medium low, and I'm going to add some butter to it.
What do you, what?
That's how you make eggs.
Oh, you're doing the eggs, okay. Getting some of the juice down in here too.
No, I like how Monty's is all pretty here, and then Noah just like has thrown his.
What? No, look at this. This is pretty. Look at this.
Mine.
Oh, that one's yours.
Yeah. What? Do you, wow.
That was way prettier than
Oh,
mine.
my bad.
Also, we used the musaengchae that we made
The other day with
the
the
other day into one delicious mass.
Chef, my egg yolk was not runny. It was soft boiled.